A few months ago, I made a video interviewing supposed hackers, but in fact the so-called hackers I interviewed at the time were only mere small ripples in the big $27 billion pond of cheating and hacking in video games. They were, for the most part, only end users and odds resellers. Since then, I've grown a great deal and had the opportunity to talk to some real hackers. People who actually know what they are talking about, cheat devs. In comparison to the last video, most of these cheat devs seemed very nice. They explained a lot more things and shared some very interesting information on the cheating community and what hacking in Escape from Tarkov really entails. A little disclaimer for the rest of this video. I'm only relaying the information they told me. Since these people in the end do cheat, everything they say should be taken with a little grain of salt, at least. I also do not support any form for cheating, whatsoever. And before we go into the nitty-gritty stuff, why don't you leave a like and even sub? And if you want, you can come stop by my Discord and say hi. I also really want to thank my YouTube members, especially Lone Wolf Ace and Wagjatters. You too can become a supporter by clicking the blue join button. Anyways, since I didn't want this video to be like the last one I did, an outlet for some scummy cheaters to brag and exaggerate how much money they make, I knew I had to get hold of an actual cheat developer. After searching for months on end on dark forums and sketchy websites, I finally found some people who were willing to talk to me. The first interview I had was with, well, you could say a cheat dev youngling. So without any more of my rambling, here it is. Talks with Hackers Part 2, Cheat Devs. All names will be blurred. If names or tags are not blurred, then they have either been banned or have since then changed them.
Personally, I cheat, but here's the thing. I've played with a couple developers, and I feel I had this, like, before I had this idea that cheating was something super complex and you could never understand it, and it's like, crazy stuff that's like, because I cheated before, I just never understood how the cheat works. But as soon as you hang around developers, you start seeing cheats a bit differently. You start seeing more like glass, like you can see exactly how they work, what exactly they're doing, even though you didn't crack the process or the cheat. You feel like you're paying money for something you already understand, like you could just create it yourself right on the spot. It has a weird feeling to it. Okay, so I'm not necessarily a dev, but I'm deep enough to the community where I know people that are devs themselves, and I talk to them and I interact with them, and I have the general aspect from what I've learned. Like, I could full on explain to you exactly how game hacking functions in, like, the code end, like how to make cheats 101.
Do you know, first of all, how to write code? C++, C#, and so on.
Currently, I know Python, C++, and HTML. Usually, you have to find a way to run your cheat with a kernel driver, because cheats usually can't be running at the user level. Like, have you ever heard of the rings? Like, level, ring 3, ring 2, ring 1, ring 0?
No, I have not.
So basically, in a computer, each ring is, let's just say, for example, Google Chrome is ring 3, right? We want to make our cheat run ring 0, because if our cheat's running ring 0, the anti-cheat's also going to be running ring 0. So we're automatically, every cheat actually, is going to be running ring 0, because we're competing. First thing you have to do is make your cheat run the deepest it can into the computer. And usually the devs themselves will probably spend about a week creating these cheats. But before that, they would have to understand all of C++, or most of C++, and understand reading and writing memory. Because when you're cheating, all you're doing is editing a process on the computer with higher privileges. Like, for example, if we have a program like target.exe that's counting from 1000 to 0, we can scan the memory. We can, go to open up Cheat Engine, and you could go ahead and scan 999, and then when it hits when the target process one goes from 1000 to 999, it'll go ahead and pop up on Cheat Engine, and you're able to change the value. You could do this test yourself, and you'll be able to see you can change it to whatever you want it to. Now, obviously, Escape from Tarkov isn't target.exe because it has an anti-cheat and it's an engine. There's a lot more to it. But every time you're hacking a game, you're just hacking a process on a computer and editing the memory of it.
Could you then explain to me what an anti-cheat does, basically, in this ring system, or this
So
context?
the point of an anti-cheat is usually to detect a user that's cheating. Now, The reason it doesn't it works a very specific way because it's detecting it's looking for abnormalities in what you're doing. So for example, some anti-cheats have algorithms that detect, like, sometimes they'll just ban you for having getting too many headshots, right? But some don't have this because some really good players end up getting a lot of headshots and they end up not being cheaters. So they have to find alternatives to this. And the anti-cheats try to look for things like threads, and usually when you're it also looks for when you're writing to the memory and wants to see things that have changed. Now if you're there's things like methods that you can people buy where they'll pay, like, I don't know, it depends on the amount, but they'll pay for methods to do certain things. Like, for example, let's take a game like Rust. There's these features that a lot of cheats have called instant yoka. And the way the usually you have to pay for these methods because these aren't just free. So you're going to be sometimes you're going to be spending up to, like, at least $1,000 on the cheat, depending on what you're doing, because you're going to need to you're it's going to pay off, though, for most people that are cheat devs. Now, if your cheat ends up getting detected, right, by the anti-cheat, usually you guys have heard this, like, cat and mouse game between the devs and the cheaters. What's happening is every time a method that the cheater is using gets detected, or their method get or their drivers there for their cheat that they paid for gets blacklisted, which means it's blocked by the game if you try to open it, or it's detected. They'll have to make a whole new driver or exploit a whole new driver to be able to for their cheat to function again. So it's more like, instead of it being, oh wow, the game hasn't banned this user and it's gotten too many headshots, it's more that they haven't found out that they're using this specific driver yet. And this specific driver and these methods haven't been detected yet. It's unfair that people can cheat in the game. There also is beef in between other cheaters, like other people that are developing cheats. There's people that are cracking cheats, and it seems, well, the same way it's unfair that someone's cheating in a game, it's also unfair to them that someone else will take their hard work and throw it in the trash and make it free so everyone can use it. And the worst part is their driver might be really well made and it ends up getting detected, not because of the anti-cheat or someone that works in some sort of headquarters, but because it ended up going public because the cheat got cracked.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that it's kind of fair then? They kind of took the game and they ruined, let's just say it like that, ruined the game by making these backdoors, these methods.
Yeah, they did. But the anti cheat also has to be patching these exploits so they don't happen. So people aren't using these methods. So if the game is on their toes, then what's going to happen is every time they find a new method, it's going to get patched and they're going to have to find something else to exploit, to the point where there might not be any good methods. So most cheats are going to be detected, so when you pay for them, and you might be paying a lot of money just for something that's slightly undetected, like Valorant cheats. Valorant is insanely hard to cheat in because the anti-cheat is so intrusive and almost every method is pretty much patched that when you pay for a cheat, it literally goes down like the next.
But would you say that's fair? Because I mean,
Yeah.
from the standpoint of me, I'm playing legit, I have never cheated in Tarkov.
Well, I
What?
have a message to all the people that are legit. When you see a cheater, right? Most people picture, like, there's like some sort of demographic for cheating. I'm not going to talk a lot on that, but let's just say that it's more like a drug addiction for some people, because it, like, if you've ever seen people like Hitler and back in history with huge world leaders, they thrive for having some sort of power over their enemies. Picture it that way, that the person you're fighting has just wanted to thrive for power, so they're willing to pay money to thrive for power in their own way. It's not necessarily, some people call it pathetic. I think it's just human, because most people, you would agree, you would want money and power in your own way, even if it was in a virtual world that didn't exist.
Yeah. So basically, a guy reverses the game, finds methods, sells that to cheat developers, and the cheat developers make cheats, sell it to the RMT guys, who sell it to the consumer.
Yeah, and then the consumer impacts the player base, which the player base reports it to the game, and the game, it's all this pressure, it's a chain reaction all back to the game, which has to do something about this to fight all these things that are negating it. So it's a lot of pressure on the game, because you're going to arise cheating isn't just going to arise one problem. It can arise multiple. Like, for example, cheating isn't just going to cause cheating with, just other cheaters. It's going to cause, what about cheating with other players that are also legit for a boost? And then it's going to become a bigger problem because it's going to multiply, since cheating is sometimes like included with other things. Like sometimes people will cheat in CS:GO, but also grief and cause other problems. Or sometimes cheating will come with association, like in Rust, where people end up paying to play with cheaters.
Could anyone learn to make cheats, basically? Now, speaking that they don't even know C++ and C sharp, could they learn to make cheats? And how long would it take for them?
It's going to take multiple years, actually. Um, but you have to make these years really invest. Like you really have to invest a lot in these 2 years. Like, for example, you're gonna have to learn to make ESP, aimbot. They sound easy at first, but you have to reverse the game. It depends on the person, but if you take time, I'm gonna say max 2 years. If you take time to learn things.
Okay, and
If
you'd
you're a
have to
quick
learn.
learner, if you're a quick learner, this is 6 months, easy 6 months, if you know what you're doing. Now,
Most,
I thought of morals a lot when I was cheating before, because I was actually annoyed by cheaters before, which is ironic. But when I started cheating myself, I kind of understood why people would cheat, but it was very on and off, and it still is on and off for me. I would sometimes cheat, sometimes I'm not. Someday I'm playing Fortnite and I'm going crazy on the lobby, shooting everyone through walls. Then next time I'm just doing nothing. Like I'll just be playing Fortnite. I'm like I'm not going to cheat this time. Well, I realized that the impact I have as a particular person is extremely small, even if I'm a cheat developer, because it's like, think about it as like shopping. Imagine if there was only one store, everyone would buy from that one store, right? Now picture if there was 300 stores in the world and they were all split apart, and only one store got shut down. That wouldn't be the whole entire player. That's not all the people in the world that are shopping. That would only be like 1/300th of the world people in the world that are shopping. So if one of them gets shut down, nothing would really happen. That's the same thing with cheating. It's just, if there's like a ton of stores that you could buy from, but if one of them gets shut down, you could always pick from another one. So it's like, me as an individual person, I basically have no power. Even as a cheat developer, I have no power.
Many, if not all, of these interviews were over an hour long and have been shortened to only the most important parts. Leave a comment if you want to see the full unedited interview. The next guy I talked to was this guy. He also seemed very friendly to me, though he was very reserved about what he was doing and seemed to be the real deal, meaning that this could be a real cheat developer that actively develops cheats. He also had a lot of insight into the cheating community and its many faults. Anyways, here's the talk I had with him.
The reselling community. So I think there's a lot of ego that goes around. So I've always considered myself pretty, like, my ego does not expand like a lot of people. And I know that in the hacking community, the ego problem is absolutely inflated. But that's resellers and stuff. There's kind of a term in the cheating community as a whole. It's like to have a name for yourself or to not be a no-namer. And a lot of people will like puff up their chests and stuff like that, and flex what they have.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand. Maybe that's just because I don't need to, but like a lot of to get in. Maybe it's like to like get in the good graces of a developer or just something like along those lines. Okay, so money. That's a really interesting topic. This is me asking you to like mute or to not, which is voice. But resellers are interesting. I get a lot of offers that I decline frequently because the position of my cheats. Obviously, I don't just make a Tarkov cheat. They're private. It means that people cannot just buy them, and that is by choice. I could sell them publicly to everyone and charge an exorbitant price, but I just don't because I have a lot going on in my day-to-day life. The numbers are exaggerated when you talk to resellers, at least in my experience. I was talking about this with someone else today. The only people at the end of the day that really make a lot of money are the developers. because I make my price. I choose who purchases my product. Like a reseller, normally what they'll do, I mean, some places are different and they'll just be loaned keys or maybe even get a key generator, but they have to still go back to the developer and pay for what they've purchased. Maybe they have a small discount so they can stay competitive with the original seller, but your resellers won't make that much compared anywhere near what a developer makes. It's inflated. I'll give you a really good example. I got a job offer. This was not recent. This is probably like a month or two ago.
And when you mean a job offer, you
So a larger community, I would say one of the largest cheating communities, hacker, so
yeah, they
groups.
wanted you to make a cheat for a game.
They wanted to hire me as a developer because I've known them for a long time and I've never done anything sketchy. I'm very wholesome in the community. I won't run into a community and be like, wow, I'm so much better than all of you. Like, I'm just like, hey, I stick with my community and I'm very just relaxed and quiet. I work a lot. So they had, I've known them for years. They approached me and they're like, hey, this is actually funny because this was really regarding a Tarkov cheat that they wanted written. They already have one, but they wanted someone in the back end. And I was offered a minimum of, I think it was 30,000 USD a month.
Wait.
Yeah. And I declined because me personally, I don't see myself working for them. But I also have, I have a job. So as cool as it would be to make $30,000 a month, responsibilities in my day-to-day life kind of prevent me from going to the moon. It's maybe like a fraction of what they actually, as like a conglomerate, make a month. Yeah.
And this community, this is like an RMT server or a RMT community or...
No, these guys like produce, release the cheats, and then tons of people resell them. You're always gonna like come back to the very foundation, like behind all the resellers and the thousands of users. There's only a couple devs. There's only a few people really in the community. And I know people are gonna be like, man, like what the fuck are you talking about? There's tons of developers, so-called developers, and all these people. There really isn't. You get a lot of people who, I hate to use the word paster, but that is a huge portion of the community. You'll have someone release something that is just not viable long term because they cannot keep up with the demands, like the changing demands that come with running a cheat. I mean, there was only a month ago this cheat came out for Rust, and it was proposed to be like this new like big thing, right? It's like, wow, look at this. This is going to last forever. And all of about maybe a month later, they were, it came out that they had taken a lot of the source code from another developer who kindly shared it with them, and all these other things. I'm not going to like speculate on what happened, but they were shut down because it turns out that the person selling it, the air quote developer, had none of the skills to maintain this, to rewrite it, or to keep everything like where it needed to be.
So
There's a lot of expectations that come with it.
okay, so we're kind of just jumping right into it. So let me just hold that moment right there. Let's
Okay.
go back for a moment. Who are you? And basically, why did you start cheating? Let's just get the basics here. I know this is
That's
kind of
really-
basic, but basically, why did you
That's
start
the-
cheating? I guess
had none of the skills to maintain this. I was really against cheating for a long time. I had a lot of friends who cheated, and I was like, man, y'all suck. You ruin the game. You're ruining the fun for me. Like, I'm your friend, and you're ruining it for me playing with you guys. And I don't know if you've ever played Rust, but I would
A little.
consider that one of the most, next to Tarkov, one of the most infuriating games I've ever played. It's difficult, and I got really into it. I was in college at the time, and I was like, man, I really, like, I know it's like sounds silly, but I really want to cheat in this game. Like, I'm tired of getting shit on consistently. And then I know that's like the salty like idiot.
Yeah.
I don't agree with cheaters. Okay, don't get me wrong. Like, I know it sounds stupid to be like, fucking cheaters, blah blah blah. But anyway, I went out and I was like, man, these cheats cost like $150 a month. Like, that's absolutely insane. I can't see myself paying that much for anything. for a video game. Like, that's insane. And I think I used a cheat that is no longer available. It's gone. And I got banned. Rightfully so, as I deserved for buying some fucking shitty cheat. And that was like a point where like I got a taste of blood. I was like, whoa, if I could offer you to be God for a day, would you take it? Like,
Yeah.
because you really feel like you're unstoppable, and
The power
you go
that
from
comes with
like, you go from being somebody who just gets decimated to someone who is decimating like with ease. It's like purchased evolution.
it.
Fast forward, I was like, man, it would be really cool if I could make this sort of stuff. Because at that point, I was like, obviously purchasing accounts and everything. That's like, at the time, it was like $200 a week if you really wanted to cheat, which is totally insane. Like, I
Yeah.
can't spend that much. I'm in college. Like, I don't make enough to fund that. So I kind of went on this journey. I decided that I wanted to go like grassroots and just learn how to hack like from the start. So obviously I didn't start with games like Tarkov and Rust. It took so long to learn how to do anything with these games. It took hours and hours. I would wake up at 3 a.m. so that this German guy would do like video lessons with me on programming and all these things. And I was really determined at that point to like, even if it wasn't like I had stopped playing video games. That's how determined I was to like
Wow.
learn cheating. I was like obsessed with
So you learned how to
not
program
even
first.
so I had been programming for a while, but like when you're writing cheats, it's different. You're competing with anti-cheats like BattleEye and Easy Anti-Cheat. There's stuff you need to know that a normal programmer would not need to know.
Okay.
You have to go hard in the paint because they're paying millions of dollars for these anti-cheats. How is some idiot like me gonna go in and just say, nah, your work means nothing to me? Like, it's a lot harder than people think. You've got 10 guys in a room with a combined experience that you will never get, and you have to bypass their knowledge. Like, that's a feat. Which is why it took me so long to learn everything that
And
I
at this
have.
point, you write your own cheats basically from scratch, and then
Absolutely. I do not have another developer. I do not have some repository I go to. Everything is handwritten, and I consider it a work of art, which is kind of extreme, but
and
I
then
put a
you
lot of effort
resell
into
these
it.
cheats basically.
I do not have any resellers because my stance has become private. A lot of cheats will just get you banned within a week because BattleEye is one step ahead of a lot of people. Or they'll find something, resell it, it's detected, right? Like, to go into the nuances of how something gets detected is ridiculous, but the idea behind my product is it's private. You can't just come into my Discord or on my website, right, and purchase it. I say I invite someone, maybe one person every few months, like one person. It's been a few months since I've invited someone, that's for sure. So I'd say on average, I maybe only get about $100 per user a month. And a lot of my prices are low because it's just to maintain the servers and buy accounts here and there if I want to do something stupid. But it's not a money-making venture for me right now. It's just
Okay.
a hobby. And I'd
Okay.
say I make between $800 to $1,000 maybe a month.
Cheat developers could make a living off of this, like quit a job and just do this full time.
Absolutely. There was a point where before I joined the military, I was putting myself through college with it.
So if you would give me a time frame, how long would it take for a newbie to do the same, not do the same, but actually learn to code and then learn to program cheats?
So,
For the average
uh,
Joe, basically, for the average Tarkov player, which is under the
like,
average IQ of the.
yeah, if you're gonna go like grassroots, like I have, a few
Basically.
years maybe to get to Tarkov's level.
People you sell these cheats to, what is your experience with them? Do they keep cheating in the games, or do they have
With
to?
my cheats, yes, because there's that huge divide. If you continuously get banned, like that one person who said he gets banned in Tarkov every day, that would put a damper on the video game, right? Like, consistently losing your progress, consistently spending money on the game kills the game maybe for you, at least your experience. With my users, they just hop on, they play for a little bit, they get off. Inexpensive, They're not losing accounts. Tarkov can still be difficult with cheats. I mean, you'll find like feature-wise, it's all about the features in your cheat that can change your playstyle. Like in Daisy.
But I mean, when you have an ESP or loot bot or whatever the fuck you call them, aimbot, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of the game? Because no longer is it, a challenge, and no longer do you feel this
It's
rush when you kill somebody because now it's just
it's
point and click.
it's still challenging. I know that's interesting, right? From like an outside perspective, you'd think it'd be like that, but it's not. I wouldn't say it changes it. It might actually make it more fun because it's less challenging. It's like if you have a push lawnmower and then you purchase a riding lawnmower. Does it change the grass cutting experience because it's now easier? It's like it's less work, but is it any less fulfilling? No, you're getting you're cutting the grass either way.
Yeah.
Tarkov cheats are a lot harder to obtain than you would think because you have to remember you're trying to buy a product in a community where the bottom line is hacking, right? Imagine, there's a lot of cheats out there that, I'm sure you've heard this. Take your Discord token or put a rat in your computer, or it won't even be a cheat because it's easier to just take $40 of Bitcoin from someone than it would be to give them an actual cheat. So to get a legitimate product that you can trust, that won't get you banned the moment you use it, it can be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
I say for every reseller I know there's one specific cheat out there that probably they have a reseller who resells for a reseller.
Oh, I mean,
So
this
those
is gonna sound for the outside ear to like a drug ring or something,
Yeah, it's like it goes from one person to another, and then that person has a reseller for them.
He mentioned he had a private Discord and invited from that Discord one of his most trusted mods. This mod didn't actually write any cheats himself, but knew a great deal about it since he'd been using cheats for a very long time. I thought it'd be a good idea to get to hear from an actual user what they thought about how cheating might affect different aspects of the game.
I'm good, you know what I mean, at, playing video games. But with a full-time job, and then some people have kids. It's like you dedicate so much time to playing a game, and then like these little 14-year-old kids will come along with like their $10 cheat, and and like survival games, like Rust, Ark, games like that. It's like you put time into like building a base, playing the right way, playing legit, and then you're half decent at a video game, and then you have like a group of 6 kids that come over, and like 3 of them are cheating, and everything just gets destroyed. And then you sit back and you're like, fuck, like, why am I even playing these games when the cheaters are coming along, and there's really nothing you can do to stop cheaters. I mean, there's people like Shroud, you know what I mean, that basically play video games like they have cheats, that like he might be able to be somebody who would like, be able to beat a cheater, but like 85 to 90% of people that play legit, if you're going to play a cheater who's running like an ESP and aimbot, it kind of sucks. So like in my standpoint, I cheat in video games because I also have a life outside of sitting behind my computer. So if I jump on my computer, I'm not somebody who's a rage cheater. I don't go into servers looking to just destroy everybody, kill everybody, ruin everybody's game. There's a lot of people who don't even know like that I cheat because like I don't make it obvious. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those 14-year-old kids that, buy a $20 cheat and they're like, shit, yeah, I'm killing everybody. You know what I mean? When it comes to Tarkov. There's kids that'll get cheats, they'll go into a server, they'll literally kill every single player in the server.
You're telling a lot about that, the reasoning for cheating. But in the end, wouldn't you say that all in all, you are also cheating? The 14-year-old kid is cheating, you are cheating, and I don't know who else is cheating. So you're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
we're all putting towards the issue. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm not saying like this isn't an issue, but there is like, it's like, here's the reason I do it. It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, we're all here. I've got a prototype activated.
Careful, Stepka. He's gone. Grenade, grenade, grenade!
I need to med, I need to med.
My arm is fucked.
I'm not risking that.
You think with ESP it's easy to win? No. You still need
It's
to be
not.
very good at the game. Like unless you have like aimbot, no recoil, and speed hang, like all these fucking things, you're probably still gonna be the same at the game. If not sometimes worse, because you're trying to make tactical decisions and you can see everything that's going on and you're just like already bad. So
Yeah.
you're just like get confused really fast.
Wouldn't you say it's a fair punishment though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cheat, you
That
get
100%.
banned.
this guy that just bought a cheat for, I don't know, $100 that he gets banned in 3 days.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
play the you yeah, we told him, we were like, you get what you deserve.
And honestly,
know?
I even talk to, people, that we have, and it doesn't matter how long we've been undetected or whatever. When you sign up and you get into a cheating community,
It's not my fault you get banned.
you are officially just giving your account away. If you get banned, it's not the dev's problem. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like-
It has nothing to do with the dev. The dev is making and developing a cheat for a game, and you are signing your name at the bottom of a contract saying, "I want to buy it and I want to use it in my game," even though the game is saying, "Don't
It's not
use
supposed to.
don't use a cheat in the game, or we're going to ban you." So if you sign yourself up for a cheat and you get banned, you deserve it.
In the end, isn't the heart of the problem, I'm gonna say you guys here?
Yeah.
You know what's
I feel
crazy?
it.
Even when I cheat, I actually have like a heart. Like when it comes to EFT, right? I'll kill somebody, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, you died. You lost your stuff, and I actually have found myself sometimes taking
It's
their
like, dang.
gear and going to put it in a bush
It's just like,
because if I kill like somebody who's like level 50, okay, and they're fat kidded, all right, yeah, I'm probably most likely gonna take your stuff, out of a raid. If somebody's in my way, I shoot and I kill them, and they're like level 6, and homeboy just brought in like his last AK with like his last bit of decent ammo. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. Like, there's loads of rage hackers, but this is, just personally, just me. I actually take their gear sometimes, and I'll toss it in a bush, and I'll keep moving. Like, I actually take like a minute and a half out of my own game time to be like, damn, you know what? I kind of have a conscience, and I could take your AK, sell it for like 20k rubles, but I'm like, you know what? Cheaters are ruining the game for people, but like at least you'll get your stuff back and be like, damn, like I guess he was, full kit, and he didn't want to take my stuff, and then you get your, you get your shit back in insurance.
But then you can
Another
still come
thing
with the
is-
argument in the end, you are still cheating,
Yes,
and you are still
100%.
kind of ruining the game for others.
You
I'm
want to
not
know?
trying
You want to
here
know
to
the 100% reason why I cheat?
Yeah?
Is because I've been playing video games forever. I mean, even since like PlayStation 1. I've been on PC for a very long time, but I've played console, I played PC. When I play console, I do not die in mysterious ways ever. Like I just don't. Like console, if somebody develops a cheat for console, I mean more power to you, but like I do not die in retarded ways when it comes to playing console. Now I have a bunch of friends that they play MLGs and shit for Call of Duty. And they're savages. Like on console, they are crazy good at the game. They make money. They go into competitions. They play Call of Duty. When Call of Duty released,
I use
PC
Elytron real quick.
enable to play with console, they have complained all the time. And I tell them, I'm like, look, like you have to realize, like PC gaming, I hate to say it, is very shit. I enjoy PC gaming, but PC gaming is dog shit. When you play on console, like my brother, I play PC, he plays console, and he never ever has to worry about, oh shit, like this kid's cheating, we're fucked, blah blah blah. And if I'm not cheating in a game, because I know and have so much knowledge about like all of the cheating communities. It's almost as if like every time you die, you just call somebody out for cheating. And it sucks because like that's what PC gaming has came to. And I know like us, we're no better than any other cheating provider. But it comes down to basically like if you can't beat them, join them, but then it's just ruined for everybody.
The question is, am I willing to stop? Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing people to purchase it.
Okay.
Like I said, while I am providing, and I'm not by any means forcing, and I don't even really play Tarkov, so
It's basically just there for the exact words that you just said. I'm not, it's somebody who's not the best at a video game. And I guess basically if you want a little bit of an advantage,
But it is
the
not only a
advantage
little bit of
is
an
there.
advantage.
no, it is not. That's true.
Well, technically speaking,
We can't. Here's
when
the
it
thing.
comes down
I
to
can't
Escape
morally.
from Tarkov,
I can't morally
it
defend it.
kind of is.
That's the facts. As a whole community, I would say it is a majority of people between the ages of 12 and 17. However, it's not to say that there are adults out there who do this sort of stuff. I mean, you look at us, we're adults and we fucking cheat in video games, says as to say, but a lot of our users, let me look through the list. Okay.
So just off the top of my head,
He's
we're
an
talking
adult.
about,
He's an adult. He's an adult.
yeah, we probably have maybe 3. I would probably say about 3 that are actually under the age of 17.
He's a kid. He's 4.
Hmm.
We have
And how many
4,
people?
5. It's half and half. Half are adults, half are not.
Okay, and how many people are looking to buy these cheats off of you, or yeah, what is the age range there?
So that would
Mostly
be like the
14 to 16.
community. Yeah. So that would be under the age of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's mainly these younger kids that kind of don't really have the experience with, yeah.
They don't have an idea that their actions have repercussions.
Yeah.
And it's basically
what it
like
is.
Santa Claus, brought them a PC for Christmas, and they have a friend of a friend of a friend that are in a cheating community, and then they pretty much just start off with very dog shit cheats. It's very seldom that you get yourself into a private community, especially being that age.
I will say this: private communities are very, very sought after in the community of cheating. You will have a lot of public cheats. I'd say 99% of people use public cheats, and then people who are like, "Oh, I have a private cheat." You can really to validate that is how well known they are, the quality. Like that guy that was using that cheat in your video. I saw a million things wrong with what he said. First of all, the menu he's using was it's open source. It's called, and I have not seen very many private cheats using open source menu libraries. Like you look at our shit, you have not seen that anywhere. You will never see it anywhere. Private, as well as him streaming it to you. We have a lot of policies on sharing, showing it off, all sorts of things, because I'm not here to like make money. I'm just here to support my hobby.
Yeah.
Personally,
I could pinpoint many streamers that you can go on Twitch and watch, and those motherfuckers are cheating. I'm not going to give out names because you're going to have to blur them out. But if you watch,
I'll make an it's great clickbait, dude.
if you, well, I just don't want to use names because if they're not cheating, then hate's going to be spread.
Yeah,
but I watch streamers, and I've been cheating for a very long time. Now, there's people like Shroud. I'm going to sit here and tell you that dude probably doesn't cheat. His dad was a fucking professional gamer. This kid's been on a PC probably since he was 5 years old, and he's disgusting at video games. But now these no-name streamers that pop up, and all of a sudden they're grabbing like 1,000 views because they're fucking gods at the game. I'm sorry, but I watched your gameplay.
Recently, didn't we?
Exactly. And I watched their gameplay.
That was evil.
And
I was like, what the fuck?
I've been cheating for a long time. So like There's things like silent aim, there's aimbot, there's trigger bot, there's spin bot. There's so many different names for different features in games. And when you watch people play, like even when I play Tarkov, like I played Tarkov legit for months, for a long time actually. And yes, you can sound horde people, you can hear them, but like some of these streamers, like bro, you're jumping around a fucking corner and shooting into a bush and killing somebody, and then you're doing a 360 and killing 2 of his friends. Dude, fuck you. I know there's sweats in Tarkov because I'm a cheater in Tarkov, and let me tell you, when I run labs and I see a Twitch name, I try to stray away from them, and a lot of legit cheaters, which that's a stupid thing to say, but some cheaters like
Legit cheaters won't
to
kill
stay
streamers.
legit. I stay away from streamers because I don't want my name to be on their stream. You know what I mean? Like, and there's some of these fucking streamers that I have to go up against that are fucking try hard sweats. Now,
Another thing, we'll look up their name like before we kill them. If we're all hanging out, be like, dude, look up his name, like, look up who this guy is before I fucking lay him out, And
I'm not gonna lie, they kill me sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like you gotta realize
we're not invincible.
the movement. Like when you play a game legit, this is how you can tell. Like if you're watching somebody stream, the very, very first thing you can tell from a cheater to a legit player, because I've played a lot of games legit, is their sense of the game. If they are fucking jumping around like an animal and they are fucking sweating, then yes, they're try-harding the fuck out of the game. If you have this kid who's walking through, labs and slow. Just, I killed that guy, and then he's taking his time, reloading, walking around, killed that guy,
However, I will say this. As of recent, Tarkov is not cheated as much. This is pre. Now then you have like our cheats. You can stream them. You're not going to see them.
Yeah.
Like if I stream them to you, you wouldn't see them.
All in all, I have to say that it was much more interesting this time to hear from hacking from a whole other perspective. In the end, many of these so-called hackers do realize that they're doing something morally wrong and even ethically, but unfortunately have gotten either addicted to games being easier. Don't tell me you've never even had the thought about making the game a little easier for yourself by using hacks, but in the end, cave into the dark side. Personally, I believe it is because the game can be so infuriating and unforgiving that people tend to cave in. So the next time you have such a thought, remember this video and remember that cheating or hacking or whatever it is never the answer. I really hope you enjoyed this video and could find it somewhat useful. You can follow me on Twitch, where I will try to start streaming somewhere in the near future. I also hope that you will consider subscribing and liking, since these videos take a hella long time to make. I'd also like to take a second to thank my supporters, Lone Wolf Ace and Wagchatters, and to the rest of my YouTube members. A massive thanks to you for supporting me.
Nice.
If you want to become a supporter and gain perks, then you can click on the blue join button next to the subscribe button. I also have a Discord. Come say hi. See you next time. Bye!